Yes, we spoke to the father of the young lady who passed away, Riley, and he's still dealing with the fact that they did this arrest. He tells us that this was actually, she's home from college, and this was her first date. She was out with that boy. Listen to what he said.
This girl was on a first date with this sweet boy that he just came back from Hawaii and gave us souvenirs. He doesn't even know us. He passed out souvenirs that night at my house. She was so happy. They were like these two little lovebirds. And it was finally a guy that Dad approved of, you know?
The very proud dad of 18-year-old Riley Goodrich. She was a graduate of Corona High School on scholarship at Grand Canyon University here visiting her family, and yes, her first date with 19-year-old Anthony Barajas. He is actually a pretty well-known TikTok social media influencer, and he's also from Corona. They had gone to see a movie, Forever Purge, over at the Regal Edwards Corona Crossings, and there were 6 tickets that were sold, a pretty empty theater itself. When they turned on the lights, both of them, their bodies down, both had been shot. She was dead. He was taken to a local hospital. Now, at that point, investigators asked for help from witnesses, and they did get it. And today they announced the arrest of 20-year-old Joseph Jimenez, also from Corona. He acted alone, and they're calling this an attempted robbery, a murder, and attempted murder. They found at the home where he lives a weapon and bullets, a caliber that was used, but they also found some of her belongings, including her wallet and a ticket to the movie that they were all watching. Dad, hearing that, has this to say.
Metal detectors in theaters. I was just at a baseball game the same night. 40,000 people went through a metal detector. Not one gun was in there. 200 people went to a movie theater, and somebody brought a gun in. You know, so how hard is that?
Now, the reason, the movie theater says that they actually checked purses, but the reason investigators are not saying that robbery was the motive is because at this point they don't know if he took the stuff, supposedly this man, before or after he shot them. Now, I will tell you, at this point, he is being held on $2 million bail. The family have set up GoFundMes for both of them. In her case, let's go to that. And I'm going to have, by the way, if you can't write this down, we're going to have this on our Fox LA website. In her case, I mean, what parent plans for a funeral like this? It's unbelievable, and they're going to need the help. In his case, we also have his GoFundMe information for Anthony Barajas. He is still at the hospital. He's in very critical condition. The family not ready to talk. They are trying, everybody around the family trying to support them, but they're really needing help right now, so they passed on the GoFundMe information. But at this point, both of these families completely devastated about how does this happen. Jimenez, the suspect, by the way, doesn't have a record that any of us could find. Investigators say he's not a gang member. He had never met these victims. They never seen them, they didn't know them, and they don't know him. So again, they found some of her belongings at his home, but they're still investigating, hoping to see if there's some other link, which at this point, there does not seem to be. Later on at 6 o'clock, you're gonna hear more from Dad and more about this whole thing. For now, I'm live in the Hemet area where the parents have gotten away just to get away and deal with the things they have to deal with. Back to you guys in the studio.
Christina, do we know if the movie that they were watching, which was all about, you know, having this period of violence without consequence, was that a contributing factor in this at all?
We asked that question repeatedly, and investigators say at this point that does not seem to be a motive. They thought about the possibility, but at this point they don't seem to think so. But again, they're still looking into this, but we're all asking the same question, but no, at this point it doesn't seem to be.
Oh, Christina, thank you. Friends, I can imagine they have so many in this community, have to be just in shock over this. Thank you.